We are officially in Sephora sale time right now, and I wanted to go through and give you guys just kind of a quick roundup video. Quick might be pushing it, actually. This is probably not going to be a quick video. I wasn't sure exactly how I was going to do my Sephora sale recommendations video this year. I knew I was going to do one because I've gotten so many requests for it, but I wasn't sure exactly what format would make the most sense. And what I decided to do in this video is to break it up into 3 parts. The first part is going to be a buy this, not that section, where I'm essentially going to tell you guys a couple of the really popular items that are on the Sephora website right now that I personally feel like have better alternatives out there. The second section of this video is going to be a straight recommendations. I'm going to be pulling and talking about what I think are the best of the best products right now. And then the third part of the video, I'm going to go through my personal wish list. I think this year's sale really has a hold on me. I've got so many good products in my Sephora loves list right now that I know I'm going to probably end up pulling the trigger on. So we're definitely going to talk through my whole wish list. And if you guys want to see what I actually end up purchasing, which may end up being different than the wish list, because my wish list is just products that I do want to look into. I am going to be going into Sephora store to shop, to swatch, to do all the fun stuff. And sometimes I end up leaving with a little bit more than I actually expected to. So the actual haul video will be the next video on my channel. So definitely stay tuned for that. For those of you guys who are newer Sephora sale shoppers, you might not know that twice a year Sephora runs this store-wide sale. Depending on your VIB status at Sephora, you can get 10, 15, or 20% off store-wide. The sale runs for a limited amount of dates, and I will have the coupon code and the exact dates written in the description box for you guys, as well as links to everything that I'm talking about in this video, because there's going to be a lot of information here today. So jumping right into it, let's go ahead and start off this video by talking about the buy this, not that portion. Like I said, there are so many products on the Sephora website right now that are really, really popular products and formulas that just have a lot of hype across the internet that I kind of want to not fully de-influence you on, because I'm not trying to say that these products are not good or the formulas are not worth it, but I personally just think there are better options out there. There's a better formula, there are better color ranges, there's just a better product that you might want to look at. And this is the first example of it. The Rhode Peptide Lip Tints. Rhode is a newer brand to Sephora. It's not a new brand in general, obviously, but it's newer to Sephora. So I do imagine a lot of people are going to be looking at this brand, especially during the sale time. The first big hit from Rhode was this Lip Peptide Lip Tint, and this is essentially just a squeezy tube lip balm. Lots of people love the formula. I have tried this formula before, and this thing is gritty, you guys. I don't know what was going on with this formulation. I don't know if they've reformulated over time. I would say the last time I tried this formula was about a year ago. And initially when I used it, it was nice. You know, it was a nice glossy, hydrating lip balm gloss. But after like a week of having that item, the tube got super, super gritty. The formula went on like a lip exfoliator, and it just wasn't comfortable to wear, because who needs crystallized particles in their lip balm, you know? I just wasn't a fan of this formula. Again, I don't know if they've reformulated. I don't know what the situation is, but I will say that even if they have fixed the grittiness of the gloss itself, I still feel like there's a better alternative. And to me, the better alternative is the Edam Le Choo Choo Peptide Lip Balm. This lip balm is incredible, you guys. Okay, first off, it has a metal tip applicator. Already a win. Like, I love the cooling metal tip. It also feels fairly hygienic compared to a rubber tip, because you can just take a paper towel or a tissue or something and wipe the tip off every now and then. Moving away from the conversation of the tip, I do feel like this formula is so nice. It's a slightly thicker lip balm, but it's not sticky. It goes on so smoothly, and it actually hydrates the lips. This lip balm formula also has some mild exfoliating properties properties in it. So when you use it over time, it actually slightly like exfoliates any dead skin particles that are on your lips. You know, sometimes you put on a tinted lip balm that has just a little too much color, and if you're literally barefaced, it can just look a little off. Like it makes your lips look too done up, considering nothing else on your face is done. This lip balm does not do that. It has that like semi-sheer but still noticeable tint to it, but the color is just so perfect. The formula is incredible. It's easy to reapply. You can just layer it on itself without any issues. I freaking love the Edam lip balms. They are my favorite squeezy tube lip balm of all time. So yeah, if you have the Rhode peptide lip balm on your wish list, just slightly rethink, do a little mental calculation and see if you want a slightly more elevated formula and something that in my opinion is just a little bit more luxury. Check out the Edam ones. They are so freaking good. Okay, my next try this, not that. We're gonna start off by saying maybe think twice, or I just haven't had the best experience, let's put it that way, with the Huda Beauty Easy Bake Blurring Loose Baking and Setting Powder. I purchased this, I think it was during the last sale. It was my first time trying this Easy Bake powder, and I know this has a cult following to it. I know it does. So I know there are people who are going to absolutely hate me for saying this, but I don't think this is that great of a loose powder. I don't know if she reformulated because this has been repackaged. I just feel like this doesn't actually set my makeup very well. I feel like this does not hold and lock down my makeup very well. This is supposed to be a baking powder. You're supposed to use this over your concealer, under your eyes, and on your T-zone, and on your forehead. And whenever I use this freaking powder, my skin looks greasy hot dog skin after like a couple of hours. The buy this that I want to tell you guys about is a OG fan favorite, my personal favorite, and has been for damn near a decade now, is the Laura Mercier Translucent Loose Setting Powder. This stuff is incredible. It is an OG. There's nothing new about it, but it helps blur your pores. It absolutely locks down your makeup all day long. I just got so used to using my Laura Mercier Translucent Loose Powder that I just imagined all loose powders do the same thing. So when I tried the Huda Easy Bake powder, I didn't expect it to not lock in my makeup because I'm just used to my makeup being locked in. I'm used to using my Laura Mercier powder, and I actually noticed when I switched over to the Huda powder, like my makeup was looking greasy, and the Laura Mercier does not do that. So if you are looking at the Huda Beauty Easy Bake powder, I would just be a little weary, and maybe just if you haven't tried the Laura Mercier, I just really feel like that's the one. Like that's the one for me. No complaints, and honestly, don't really want to try any other loose powders. Like I'm just so freaking happy with the Laura Mercier one. Okay, this might be a surprise to you guys, but I do kind of want to give you a better alternative to the Dior Rosy Glow Blush Stick. I purchased this blush stick last Sephora sale, and I purchased it in the shade Berry, which is their deepest, brightest shade. And I overall like the formula. I think it's decent. I love the packaging. The packaging is just stunning Dior packaging, but I do have to say that the formula is a little extra glowy. It doesn't super set down, and I definitely notice throughout the day like my cheeks look a little glossier than with another cream blush. You know, if I'm using another cream blush that actually somewhat sets down, this one is noticeably more glowy. The only benefit to this particular color for me is that I don't have to use a lot of it to get pigment on the skin. Obviously, if I had to use more and build it up, it would look extra glowy, but because this is pigmented, a very light layer will do ya. I also don't think this is the easiest to blend formula, and again, it could be just the shade I have. It is very pigmented, so I do kind of have to work with it on my skin. But going back to Rhode, I think the Rhode Pocket Blush formula is impeccable. The formula is so nice. It's super creamy. It blends amazingly, blends better than the Dior in my opinion. And because it's not overly pigmented. Like, it is pigmented, but it's got that right amount of slip to it that it actually blends across the cheeks without too much effort, you know? Like, the last thing I want is to put a cream blush on over my foundation, and then by the time I blend it out, my foundation is like moved or completely gone from my cheeks. All of that effort for my foundation to be gone. And this doesn't do that. It blends beautifully on the skin. Out of everything that I've tried from Rhode, this is my favorite formula. So if you guys are interested in the brand, I think skip the lip peptide altogether, but look into the pocket blushes because they are very good. As far as an eyeshadow stick, okay, I know cream eyeshadow sticks are super popular, but I do kind of want to de-influence you or kind of move you away potentially from the Hourglass formula. This is the Hourglass Voyeur eyeshadow stick, and don't get me wrong, I think this eyeshadow stick can work for a certain person. If you're not looking for something that will lock down, if you're not looking for the most pigmented or the most sparkly, like if you're just looking for an everyday, easy to put on, easy to blend, doesn't give you too much color, but also doesn't give you incredible lasting power, I could see someone potentially liking this, but I just feel like for the $34 price tag, we can do better. Like, we can do better. And I want to influence you guys on this formula because this is so good. This is a newer launch from Danessa Myricks. This is her Color Fix Sticks dual eyeshadow stick. These are stunning, you guys. Okay, this is literally one of the most beautiful, sparkly, amazing eyeshadows I have ever used in my entire life. I own one of them. However, every single time I go into the Sephora store, I swatch these and I'm always tempted to buy another one. All of these eyeshadow sticks have one side that is more of her shimmer side and then one side that is more of like the glittery side. These eyeshadow sticks are gorgeous. They glide on really nice. They kind of have like a little bit of a cooling sensation on the eye. You have a little bit of time to blend, but I would work quickly with these because once they lock down, they set so well. I am someone that is not a fan of the creasy eyeshadow look. Again, I know some people don't mind it. Some people don't mind having to just kind of like reblend throughout the day, but I don't want to have to do all of that. You know, I just don't want to worry about it, especially when I have like a darker eyeshadow color on. I just feel like those crease marks on my eyelid just look so unflattering. And as I'm getting older in general, I am getting more and more like creasing. Again, I'm turning 33, okay? So I do have to be a little bit weary of the heaviness of the eyeshadows I'm using because they can look a little gross on my eyelids. So these are just so good. Okay, and the final try this, not that I wanted to talk about is I want to de-influence you guys from purchasing the new Rare Beauty fragrance. This is just the Rare Eau de Parfum. It is considered to be a vanilla and caramel fragrance. That's what it says in the official listing of the formula, but I just want to tell you guys, this is the least vanilla caramel fragrance that claims to be vanilla caramel that I've ever smelled in my entire life. This fragrance is basically an exact dupe of Burberry Goddess. So if you guys have smelled Burberry Goddess, you know, yes, it definitely has a vanillic note to it, but it's almost like a vanilla lavender mix. So it definitely has that floral element to it. And it honestly still has that base DNA of designer. That doesn't make it bad, but to me, it doesn't make it as unique as it could be. If you're looking for a true vanillic caramel fragrance, I would say I wouldn't get the Rare Beauty one personally, but I definitely would look into the new Ellis Brooklyn Queen's Caramel. This fragrance is incredible, you guys. I love the new Ellis Brooklyn fragrance. I think this is exactly a vanilla caramel scent that you would absolutely love. If you guys have smelled the Bianco Latte fragrance that got super popular all over social media, if you guys like that kind of vanillic base, but you're looking for something a little bit more caramelly, a little bit more, I don't want to say animalic, but it has a little bit more of like a lived in quality to it, but it's still very sweet. That is the Ellis Brooklyn Queen's Caramel, okay? It is so good. Ellis West Brooklyn in general as a house doesn't have the longest lasting beast mode fragrances. And I would say this one is not beast mode by any means. It is strong, but it's not overwhelming. Obviously, give it a sniff before you commit. I'm not telling you to just go for the full bottle, but I am saying that this might be a vanilla caramel scent you might actually enjoy. Okay, now let's go ahead and pivot over into the recommendations portion of this video. I wanted to hit on some either newer formulas that I'm absolutely obsessed with, some tried and true products that I just recommend if you've never tried before, and or just give you some ideas of things that you might want to restock on. The perfect example of this is, you guys know, I'm a Drunk Elephant skincare girly, and I really do love the Drunk Elephant Virgin Marula Luxury Facial Oil. This is an oil that I've loved for a long time. I've tried a lot of the other marula oils out there. While I think the Trader Joe's marula oil is decent, I still think there is something special about the Drunk Elephant one. I use it at night almost as my serum step. I use it in between my toner, but before I put on my moisturizers, and I found this oil is what really helped me clear up my skin. It's not too thick or greasy of an oil. My skin just drinks this oil in, and I absolutely love it. But I just wanted to bring this product to your attention in case you haven't heard me talk about it in every single Sephora video. And or if there is another serum or moisturizer or skincare product that you are absolutely obsessed with at Sephora, this might be a time for you to stock up on it. One product slash formula, which is kind of tried and true, but I know they've reformulated this item over the years. This is the Laura Mercier Tinted Moisturizer, and this is the blurred matte version. I purchased this during the last Sephora sale about 6 months ago. I don't know what drew me to it other than I saw the display. The display looked new in the store, and I just wanted to try the formula again. It is the perfect level of coverage, not too much coverage, but a little bit more than a skin tint. I would say it's like a light coverage foundation, like a light to light medium coverage foundation. Super, super pretty. One thing that I personally always have a problem with something that claims to be a skin tint is that I feel like they're always so freaking glossy. And that's just not the look that I personally want. I am such a matte skin girl. Like, to me, a demi matte skin look is perfect. Demi matte skin will kind of blur the pores. It kind of blurs any wrinkles. It doesn't highlight anything, because anytime you have something super glossy on your skin, the light is immediately going to be attracted to it, and it's going to emphasize any little imperfection you have on your skin. And that's just not what I'm trying to do. I do love a matte skin look for that reason. So this blurred matte skin tint is the best of everything. It is still a true tinted moisturizer. It's not overly pigmented, but it has a good amount of coverage, and that blurred matte quality really does help not emphasize any texture on the skin. I love it. I highly, highly recommend you guys look into this formula. It's not new, I don't think, but it is a fan favorite for a reason. Like, it is that good. Speaking of complexion products, I also want to give a quick shout out to the Natasha Denona High Glam Concealer. This is one of my favorite concealer formulas of all time, you guys. I actually don't use this product like a concealer very often. I personally prefer using this just all over my face as a foundation. It has such nice pigmentation. It sits on the skin so beautifully, and I mean, it really does cover. Like, this stuff is basically a full coverage concealer. I do think if you're trying to use it as a concealer directly under the eyes, it can look a little heavy. I think it just depends on the way that you blend it out and how much product you use, but I do personally prefer this as like an all over face foundation vibe. Like, it is that good. I want to quickly go ahead and just shout out the Danessa Myricks Color Fix Eyeshadow Stick Duo again here. You're going to see this in all sections of this video because I want you guys to try one of these. It is such a good freaking formula. Tried and true, tested by me, and already on my loves list. Like, I'm going to get more shades. I am gonna get more shades. But another shimmery eyeshadow formula that if you guys haven't tried yet, I do recommend you guys check out, and it is the Patrick Ta Major Dimension Eye Illusion eyeshadow duo. I have a full video showing you guys all 5 of his original shades that he launched about a year ago, I think, and I am probably gonna get the other 4 shades that he launched. He just expanded the collection and released 4 more kind of neutrally type shades, and I have swatched these in my Sephora store, and I do think these are really, really pretty. The 4 new shades that he has, I noticed, were definitely a little bit more like that gritty shimmer formula. Most of the duos had one more chunky glitter and one a little bit more smooth, less gritty glitter in it, but I will say the more gritty texture was my favorite formula. It's the texture that is super lightweight. It feels dry when you swatch it, but it goes on super, super sparkly. They do tend to be a little bit more like a shadow topper type look, but they are so pretty, you guys. I know these duos are not cheap, but I do think if you guys have any holiday events coming up, any holiday parties, you just want something that's gonna add a little bit of shimmer sparkle to your look, this is a terrific way to do it. They are stunning. I always get compliments when I wear these Patrick Ta duos. Another shout out that I want to give in this section of the video, I know I talked about it earlier, but I have to give another shout out to the Edam Le Choo Choo lip balms. So good, you guys. If you haven't tried this formula, I'm telling you, absolutely pick one up. Edam did launch some new holiday shades. There is a croissant shade, which essentially is a clear with gold shimmer. It's supposed to smell like a croissant, but I'll be honest with you, this one is basically unscented to me. It doesn't smell like a croissant at all. Like, it doesn't smell like butter. It doesn't smell like croissant. To me, it doesn't smell like anything, but the shimmer in this one is really, really pretty. And there's also a chocolate croissant version, and the chocolate croissant one does actually smell like chocolate. Like, it smells like chocolate pudding. It is so delicious, and it has this like really beautiful ethereal pink shimmer that is suspended in a kind of cool toned mocha brown base. Like, it is such a pretty lip balm. My next recommendation is a hand cream that I just haven't heard anybody talk about, and this is the Drunk Elephant Theraboo Buttered Reparative Hand Cream. I have gone through multiple tubes of this, you guys. I actually really love this hand cream. It is the perfect texture for a hand cream to just throw in your bag. I have become a self-proclaimed hand cream connoisseur because my hands are drier than the Sahara Desert, okay? And this is the time of year that I can feel it. Like, I can feel the weather changing. Even though I live in LA, my hands, they know when there's just that little crisp of fall in the air, and they're like, oh, yep, time to dry out. And that's what's been happening to my hands. And this is such a great hand cream to have in your bag because I do feel like it is really nicely hydrating, but it's not sticky or greasy. It has like a nice thick texture. Like, buttered is the perfect example. It's kind of like a nice thick buttery texture. It's not one of those hand creams that doesn't do anything, you know, where you put it on and then it sinks in immediately and then you're like, I may as well have just not even done that because my skin feels not hydrated even in the slightest. This to me is still very hydrating. Like, my hands feel nice. It's got that little slip to it, and it's the perfect thing to invest in, especially now that we're, you know, slowly going to be getting into those cold winter months. The final things I wanted to recommend before we get into my wish list are a couple of fragrance options. I already talked about the Ellis Brooklyn Queen's Caramel, but I want to let you know that is a true recommendation. It's not just a buy it instead of the Rare Beauty perfume, but it's just like a buy it. Like, it's so good. If you love a vanilla caramel scent, you will love this one. Another classic vanilla fragrance that I just feel like no Sephora recommendations would be complete without me talking about Fleur Vanilla Skin. It's so good. I've gone through 2 full-size bottles of this perfume. I'm on my 3rd bottle, and I actually have my 3rd bottle in the jumbo size. Fleur released just a couple of their fan favorite scents in this 3.3 ounce version, and during the last sale I purchased the 3.3 ounce, and I'm already working my way through it because I love it that much. It is so good. Highly recommend if you guys don't have a bottle of Vanilla Skin, or you guys haven't smelled Vanilla Skin and you love vanilla perfumes, this is a go-to. The final scent I wanted to recommend is actually a new perfume, and it's the first time I think I've ever recommended a Nest fragrance. This is the Nest Creme de Clementine Eau de Parfum, and this is so delicious. To me, this is a true creamsicle scent. It is the perfect amount of orange, citrus, but not too bright or too lifted. It is a true vanillic citrus. Like, it's still grounded. It still has that really sweet, creamy element from the vanilla, but you can definitely tell it has that citrus element. So if you're looking for something vanillic with a little bit of a twist, and in my opinion, the perfect fall and winter creamsicle fragrance, so good. Definitely one of my favorite Nest fragrances I've ever smelled. And if you want to smell like a true orange creamsicle, this is the fragrance you need in your life. Okay, and then the final section of this video, I'm so excited to talk about my personal wish list. I have a hell of a wish list for this sale, you guys. So we're going to just blast through this. I've got over 30 items in my wish list. Luckily, a lot of the things are kind of duplicates. Like, for example, again, talking about the Danessa Myricks Color Fix eyeshadow duos. I've got about 5 of these in my cart right now, a bunch of different shades that I don't already have. I don't think I'm going to purchase all 5 of them. I'm trying to be very critical and very weary with over purchasing, especially cream products, especially cream eyeshadow products, because they do expire. I don't want to put old cream eyeshadows on my eyes. I probably will end up picking up at least 1 more shade, possibly 2. We'll see. You're just gonna have to wait for my haul video on that one, but I am very excited to swatch those in the Sephora store for like the 8th time now and decide which shades I'm gonna come home with. I literally can't wait. Okay, one thing I'm very, very excited to get is the new Natasha Denona High Glam Foundation. I have heard some really good reviews on this formula. I'm personally very excited to try it because, as you guys heard me rave about the concealer, and I just think this foundation will hopefully be very good. It does say it's a serum foundation, so I'm hoping it's going to be fairly lightweight, and I want something that's kind of like a medium full coverage. That's what I've heard this foundation is. So again, crossing my fingers that I love this formula. We'll see in my haul video, but I definitely am going to pick this up during the sale. I also have my eyes on the 2 new Natasha Denona Eye Sculpt eyeshadow palettes. These are her 18 pan eyeshadow palettes that she released in the fall time. I had my eye on them back when they originally came out, but I knew the Sephora sale was coming around, so I figured I would just wait to get a little bit of a discount on them. But I am very excited because especially the darker one, which is called Dramatic, kind of reminds me of the original Natasha Denona Biba palette, but it looks a little bit more compact, more shadows in it than the Biba palette, and I just feel like it has a nice range of shades. Like I said, I have the 4 new Patrick Ta Major Dimension Eye Illusion eyeshadow duos also in my basket. Cannot wait to get my hands on these. I think I'm gonna get all of them. Like, I'm pretty positive I am. You know what I just realized? I have far too many eyeshadow palettes and products in my wish list. So we might have to, you know, trim some stuff out. But I do think I want to get the new Pat McGrath Gilded Nirvana Mega Eyeshadow Palette. This is the big eyeshadow palette Pat McGrath released for the holiday season. This is a 12 pan palette, and I did swatch some of these shades in person, and the formula is really, really pretty. It's not her special formula. You know, it doesn't have that kind of ethereal, chunky glitter, beautiful sparkle. It's a lot thinner. It almost has the texture of like a cream shadow. It's so finely milled. Like, it's super smooth and metallic. So I think I'm gonna end up purchasing this. I definitely have my eye on it. Like, it's definitely in my wish list right now, as is the new Danessa Myricks palette. Danessa came out with her Lightwork Volume 7 eyeshadow palette. I can't believe we're already on number 7. Danessa. I was hoping that last year would be the last Lightwork palette, but I have to admit, this one looks very pretty. There seems to be a lot more kind of neutral leaning shades. If you guys don't know about the Lightwork palette, all of the shades in these palettes are super either sparkly or duochrome or multi-chrome or holographic. Like they all have some special formula to them. This is definitely on my list. Like I haven't purchased a Lightwork palette in a couple years now, and this one I think is definitely coming home with me this year. I haven't purchased a face palette in a while, and I don't think I've ever purchased a YSL face palette. I don't know if YSL has ever had a face palette, but this year we've got the YSL Golden Oasis face palette. This looks so pretty. It looks like you've got 3 blushes and 3 highlighters, and I think these are that new YSL Make Me Blush formula, which I haven't had a chance to try that formula either, and I figured this palette might be a good way for me to just test the formula, see what I think. The color range looks really pretty. It actually looks like I could personally get some good use out of this palette with my skin tone. And yeah, for $85, I mean, it's definitely not cheap. It's not a bargain by any means, but for YSL and considering the price of a full-size YSL blush, I feel like this is a pretty good deal for 6 products altogether. I need to relax on the face palettes, but Huda Beauty just launched her new blush filter blurring blush lighter palettes. The deeper one is like the mauvey pink version. I'm not gonna get this until I have a chance to swatch it in person because I'm definitely curious to know what the actual texture of those powders is like. If it's nice, and especially if that shimmery blush in the top left corner, like if that looks really pretty, that might tempt me to get this quad. I've also heard amazing things about this new Glossier blush formula. This is the Cloud Paint Plush Blush. I've swatched this formula in person already, and it is like a putty formula. Like it's a cream, but it's a very like dry cream. For $26, I think that's a pretty fair price for a blush at Sephora right now, and I do think this formula seems very nice. I heard that they blend really nicely. I heard they have decent pigmentation, and overall this seems like a formula that I want to test it out. Like I want to test this formula for myself. Okay, I've got a couple of items from the Soft Services brand in my wish list. If you guys haven't tried this brand, it's kind of a little bit of a bougie luxe skincare and body care brand. Mostly body care, I guess. You know, like they do hand creams, they do body lotions, body washes, stuff like that. And they are collabing with Dead Cool on a fragrance hand lotion combo. This is the Soft Services TheraPlush Extra Milk Retinol Hand Repair Cream, and this actually comes as a little gift set with a travel size perfume of the Dead Cool Extra Milk. Essentially, the TheraPlush Retinol Hand Repair Cream is an item from the Soft Services line that I've already tried. I don't want to say it's heavy by any means, but it almost feels a little bit waxy, like medicinal or something. I don't know, like it feels like a serious hand cream. Like you can tell this is actually doing something to your hands. And I just love when 2 brands that I really like collaborate to create a product that is scented like one of the brand's fan favorite scents, but in a formula that is actually effective and is actually really good. So for this TheraPlush cream to be scented like Dead Cool Extra Milk is really cool, very exciting. I also think that little baby blue tub, which is a refillable tub, looks very cute. I also have the actual refill container in my wish list as well, because obviously this is going to be a limited edition product and I don't want to run out of it and not have a backup. So I feel like I'm going to end up purchasing the kit and the refill because I'm just that psycho. The other item from Soft Services that I really want to try is their buffing bar, and they came out with this buffing bar miniature body gift set. They're calling it Volume 1, so I don't know if that means they have a Volume 2 or they're coming out with a Volume 2 at some point. I don't know. But the reason I want to try this is because it has 4 different scents and versions of their buffing bar. This one has an original buffing bar, which is fragrance free. It also has their green banana buffing bar, and then it has their debaser buffing bar, which was their collab with Dias and Durga. And then it's got the Affogato Orange buffing bar. So this little set lets you try all 4 of the different fragrances. Also, all of the buffing bars have slightly different grit levels, so they're all not made identically. So I feel like this is a good little trial size set to just try them out. I don't know if I need like the full size buffing bar in any scent, but I just want to test it. Like I just want to try it out. Like I've been wanting to try this formula and I think this is the perfect way to do it. Okay, I've got a couple of lip products from Violette FR in my basket. I have heard incredible things about this Lip Nectar Hydrating Lip Stain. I heard that this is essentially a really, really good alternative to some of the K-beauty lip stains out there, and I definitely want to give it a shot. One thing I will say about the Violette FR lip product range overall is that I feel like they don't have a good color range for tan or deeper skin at all. And the reason I'm saying that is not because they don't have brighter or more prominent shades, but I just feel like their tones are just not meant for tan skin tones. Their reds are too red, their berries are too bright, their oranges are just off. Like everything is just a little bit off with their shades in particular, but I have heard impeccable things about their formulas, which is what kind of upsets me because I want to try their formula, but in a shade that actually makes sense for my skin. And the other formula that I am, again, interested in swatching, we'll see what I think of the color, but it's this Plume Lip Moisturizing Feather Matte Lip Whip. It seems like it's gonna be a matte liquid lipstick, you know, kind of like a whipped moussey texture. And again, they only have 5 shades. I feel like there's something a little bit off about all 5 of these shades. Like you can just tell that these colors were not particularly tested or made with deeper skin tones in mind. So we'll see if I end up with those, who knows, but I wish I could try the formula in a shade that made sense. I wish that. Okay, finally here we've got some repurchases, so I'm just gonna fly right through these. We've got the obvious Drunk Elephant Virgin Marula Luxury Facial Oil. I have gone through a countless number of these bottles over the years, so definitely gonna purchase some more of that. I also have my eyes on a couple of the Drunk Elephant holiday value sets, specifically this Revisiting the Classics Proteini Refill Kit, because you get a full size of their Proteini polypeptide cream, and then you also get a full-size refill. And they did the same thing with my favorite moisturizer of theirs, which is their Lala Retro Moisturizer. This is a Landscape of Lala refill kit where you get a full-size Lala Retro and then a full-size refill as well. Definitely gonna get a couple of those kits just to have, because I know I will use them and use them up. I'm also going to get another Moroccan oil hair treatment. Again, I go through these bottle after bottle, so it's always good for me to have a backup bottle in my stash. And I also want to purchase the Moroccan oil restorative hair mask. I do love switching up my hair mask because it's just something easy. It's kind of a no fuss, no frills way to switch up a product, try something new, but try something that is low stakes, you know, because I'm not too picky with my hair mask. I've used this Moroccan oil hair mask years ago. Like I used to use it all the time back in, I want to say I was in college and right out of college. Like this was my go-to hair mask, but I haven't used it since then. So I'm excited to give it another shot. Like I'm sure it's going to be great. I also want to pick up the Laneige lip sleeping mask in vanilla. This is a product that I use up, I repurchase, I wear it every single night to bed. It is my favorite lip sleeping mask. It's what keeps my lips soft, hydrated, not cracked. Like I love this stuff. So gonna purchase another one of those. I have been sitting here and talking for like 2 hours now. So we need to wrap up this video. This is not the end of the Sephora content from me, because don't forget my next video is going to be a full-blown Sephora sale haul. So be prepared, be subscribed, be ready for that, because if you guys saw my wish list, I mean, that's just the stuff that I think I want to get. That's not even including the impulse purchases that I know I'm going to make when I go in store, because inevitably that always ends up happening, especially when you're shopping with a makeup loving friend. So it's going to be a time. Everything that I talked about in today's video will be listed and linked in the description box down below for you guys. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will talk to you in my next one very soon. I'll see you then. Bye.